right, guys. Also wanted to bring you some eyebrow-raising comments from our press secretary, Jen Psaki, who I found out, you guys know I was a competitive swimmer in college. I found out she was also a competitive swimmer in college, which kind of irritated me. But I did look up her times and I was faster, so that made me feel a little bit better.
Sorry, Jen.
Anyway, now that I've got my mean girl moment out of the way. So she went on The View and she was asked, hey, for people who are profoundly disappointed that, you know, you guys have basically failed miserably to do anything recently. This is the way I phrased it. It's not the way they phrased it. What should they do? Take a listen to what she had to say.
So my advice to everyone out there who's frustrated, sad, angry, pissed off, feel those emotions, go to a kickboxing class, have a margarita, do whatever you need to do this weekend, and then wake up on Monday morning, we got to keep fighting. And what that means, Lindsay, is we have to keep talking to members about federal legislation. That's essential. That's something that can be permanent, that can make sure people's rights are protected. But we also need to make sure people are educated in states across the country about what their rights are, how they can vote, when they can vote, how to request an absentee ballot. There's a lot we need to do on that front, and that's going to rely on the energy and the anger of that activism as well.
There's so much here. I mean, first of all, there's the immediate shifting of blame effectively to like, you guys got to get out there and do the work to, you know, to make all this stuff happen, as if you aren't the representative of the most powerful person in the country and in some ways the world. That's number one. Number two, your assumption that the people that you're speaking to have the kind of money and leisure time to partake in the activities that you're suggesting also speaks to who you think is in the Democratic base accurately, I'd say, at this point. Oh, go to an expensive kickboxing class, have a margarita, relax, and then get back out there and fight. It's pretty revealing that this is what she thinks and that people have like free cash laying around to do whatever they want to do when you all have failed so miserably, in part because you haven't dealt with the economic issues that have made life so difficult for so many people. So many people. Any little bump that they got during the pandemic from the super dole unemployment, from the direct stimulus that went into their accounts, that has been spent down and more. Savings rate is less than it was pre-pandemic. Bank account levels are lower. So folks here out there in the countryside don't have a lot of just free cash to, you know, hang out this weekend and engage in the sort of leisure activities that you're expecting.
Yeah, I would more, you just make it like more of a meta point and just show you this. Like, I know this woman because they're all the same, most of them here.
Yeah.
They're all like that. Just the pure, distillation of wine mom liberalism. That's what it looks like. Margaritas, kickboxing classes, all of this. Once again, I want people to be happy and live the way that they want. But the fact that she thinks, that is the base of the Democratic Party is very revealing, no?
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a lot of working class black people hanging out at the Rumble studio, getting their kickboxing on.
Right.
Or going to some fancy Mexican restaurant in here at town, which is not even that good, by the way, which you serve some ridiculous margarita with some mezcal or whatever from, it's been aged, 5 years. I'm just giving you a taste of the lifestyle that these people engage in a daily basis.
Kind of fits with the whole Crenshaw thinking he can't live on 170K.
That's exactly right, which is you put those together and you have elitism in its core, which is that is who they think they are talking to. And I started turning it around in my head, and in a weird way, she told on herself, which is that the people who do care the most about the fights that they are engaging in, voting rights and BBB, they are the elite class. They're the donor class who care the most. As you've said, you can care about voting rights if you want, but go check every recent public poll. Nobody gives a damn right now. People want the economy to work. They want the price of gas to drop. They want stuff to be cheaper. 70-something% of people don't want Joe Biden to run again because they don't feel as if he's meeting their needs. And she speaks in the cultural lexicon of the people who do care, the 20% or whatever, who care the most about this stuff, because the rest of the issues that affect the lives of the American people are not represented here and their views. That is how I see it, as that clip tells you everything about who these people are.
I think that Sirota said it well when we talked to him last week, that basically voting rights without economic rights are completely meaningless.
Yeah, I agree with
what does it matter if you have the technical right to vote when the only people you're allowed to vote for just continue the same policies of the rich? That is not real democracy. That's a farce.
100 million people didn't vote, Krystal, in 2020. 100 million.
That's cosplay democracy. Right. And we know, this is the data and the statistics back it up. Representatives here, by and large, they pursue the interest of their wealthy donors, not the general public. So, just having voting rights alone, it's not a solution for anything. And oh, by the way, if you're worried about Republicans stealing the next election, you can rest easy because they're on track to win it fair and square without having to rig a damn thing or change a single law. So maybe focus on the things that would actually prove to people that you have an agenda that's gonna better their lives from a material perspective. Maybe focus on proving to people that you actually are focused on their concerns, that you're doing everything you can to make sure that it's not just, their wages going up, except when you take into account inflation and then, oh, by the way, you're more screwed than you've ever been. How about you focus on some of those things and fight like hell and put the margaritas and the kickboxing classes aside until you get some things done for the American people?
Yeah, the margarita thing and all of it together, people just don't care what this president or his representatives are engaging with. And everything they do is just classic, I don't even know how to describe it, like cringe diplomacy. I mean, I don't know if you saw this. Jen Psaki and them had signs that they were holding up saying, "I stand with Ukraine," and tweeting it out. Like, are you not an active participant in the situation?
Yeah.
Like, what is this? Just social media, like diplomacy? I may seem as if I'm being nitpicky and all of this, but I look at this as representative of a broader problem with our elite class, both Crenshaw and her together, very clearly either out for themselves or just disregarding the vast majority of the people in this country that they actually lead. That's the problem. Like, they're our actual leaders. I know that's pathetic, but they are. 300 and some million people who are being led and spoken on behalf of by her. And she so shows us clearly that she doesn't speak for most of us.
Or they're blame shifting and, it's not their fault. It's the fault of people who didn't fight hard enough,
Yes.
the activists
Oh, yeah.
who
The
didn't
Obama
fight,
thing.
the grassroots
Right.
who didn't fight hard enough. That's, the blame all lies with them. And when Democrats get trounced in the midterms to, a party that stands for literally nothing except for continuing to shill for corporate America, they're going to have 1,000 excuses lined up for why it's never, ever their fault. So somehow she manages in this one little short clip to signal all of those things. And it is incredible to watch.
Thank you, Jen Psaki, for telling us who you are.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching.
That's right. Just as a reminder, you can become a premium subscriber today. Watch the full show completely uncut, our reactions to each other's monologues. You get to listen to it. You get to ask us questions, all that good stuff. Link is right there in the description or at breakingpoints.com.
Best of all, great way to say screw you to the mainstream media.